It's yesterday once more. Welcome to Colorado's Music Nostalgia Show. And now here's your host, Sandy Gaines.
Thank you, Marshall. Marshall Lawrence, my longtime broadcast buddy, dating back to the 1970s with the Eastern Broadcasting Company. Our show today is about songs that tell a story. Some are folk songs, one is a poem by Alfred Noyce. Another inspired by William Shakespeare in Songs of Legendary Journeys. Yesterday Once More wants to carry you back to those historical moments with music that will stir your imagination. Our trivia question this time asks which recording artist that you will hear during this show became a commander of a starship in the late 1970s. The answer at the end of the show. Sit back and enjoy another musical escape on its Yesterday Once More, songs that tell a story.
They lie in boot hills all through the West. The outlaws, the gunslingers, the Billy the Kids and worse. Say a fellow like the coward that shot Bill Hickok in the back. There's always one like that in every time of history. Most of them were varmints, but every once in a while in one of them, there may have lived a man. He lay face down on the desert sand, clutching his 6-gun in his hand. Shot from behind, I thought he was dead, for under his heart was an ounce of lead. But a spark still burned, so I used my knife, and late that night I saved the life of Ringo. Ringo, Ringo. I nursed him till the danger passed. The days went by, he mended fast. And then from dawn till setting sun, he practiced with that deadly gun. And hour on hour I watched in awe. No human being could match the draw of Ringo. Ringo, Ringo. One day we rode the mountain crest, and I went east and he went west. I took to law and wore a star, while he spread terror near and far. With lead and blood he gained such fame all through the West, they feared the name of Ringo. Ringo, Ringo. I knew someday I'd face the test, which one of us would be the best. And sure enough, the word came down that he was holed up in the town. I left the posse out in the street, and I went in alone to meet Ringo. Ringo, Ringo. They said my speed was next to none, but my lightning draw had just begun when I heard a blast that stung my wrist. The gun went flying from my fist, and I was looking down the bore of the deadly 44 of Ringo. Ringo, Ringo. They say that was the only time that anyone had seen him smile. He slowly lowered his gun, and then he said to me, "We're even, friend." And so at last I understood that there was still a spark of good in Ringo. Ringo, Ringo. I blocked the path of his retreat. He turned and stepped into the street. A dozen guns spit fire and lead. A moment later, he lay dead. The town began to shout and cheer. Nowhere was there shed a tear for Ringo. Ringo. The story spread throughout the land that I had beaten Ringo's hand. And it was just the years, they say, that made me put my guns away. But on his grave, they can't explain the tarnished star above the name of Ringo. Ringo, 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 Ringo.
An old cowpoke went riding out one dark and windy day. Upon On a ridge he rested as he went along his way, when all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw, a-plowing through the ragged skies and up a cloudy draw. The ghost herd in the sky. Their brands were still on fire and their hooves were made of steel. Their horns were black and shiny and their hot breath he could feel. A bolt of fear went through him as they thundered through the sky, for he saw the riders coming hard and he heard their mournful cry. Ghost riders in the sky. Their faces gaunt, their eyes were blurred, and shirts all soaked with sweat. They're riding hard to catch that herd, but they ain't caught 'em yet. 'Cause they got to ride forever on that range up in the sky, on horses snorting flaming fire. As they ride on, hear them cry. The riders loped on by him and he heard one call his name. If you want to save your soul from hell or riding on our range, then cowboy, change your ways today or with us you will ride, trying to catch the devil's herd across these endless skies. Yippee-yi-oh, the ghost riders in the sky.
When I was young, I listened to the radio, waiting for my favorite songs. When they prayed, I sing along. It made me smile.
I was a highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride, with sword and pistol by my side. Many a young maid lost her baubles to my trade. Many a soldier shed his lifeblood on my blade. The bastards hung me in the spring of 25, but I am still alive.
I was a sailor, I was born upon the tide. With the sea I did abide. I sailed a schooner around the Horn of Mexico. I went aloft to furl the mainsail in a blow. And when the yards broke off, they said that I got killed. But I'm living still. I was a dam builder across a river deep and wide, where steel and water did collide. A place called Boulder on the wild Colorado. I slipped and fell into the wet concrete below. They buried me in that great tomb that knows no sound, but I'm still around. I'll always be around and around and around and around and around. I'll fly a starship across the universe divide, and when I reach the other side, I'll find a place to rest my spirit if I can. Perhaps I may become a highwayman again, or I may simply be a single drop of rain, but I will remain. I'll be back again and again and again and again and again and again.
The Highwayman, written by Jimmy Webb in London after a late-night round of professional drinking with his friend Harry Nilsson. According to Webb's account, I went to sleep and had an incredibly vivid dream. I had an old brace of pistols in my belt, and I was riding, hell-bent for leather, down these country roads, with sweat pouring off my body. I was terrified because I was being pursued by the police, who were on the verge of shooting me. I sat up in bed, sweating through my pajamas. Without even thinking about it, I stumbled out of bed to the piano and started playing Highwayman. Within a couple of hours, I had the first verse. The song may also have been influenced by real-life hanged highwayman Jonathan Wild. The Dam Builder verse alludes to the deaths of over 100 men during the construction of Hoover Dam near Boulder City, Nevada. Glenn Campbell recorded a version in 1979. In 1985, this song became the inspiration for the naming of the supergroup The Highwaymen, which featured Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Chris Christopherson. And their version of the song went to number 1 on the Hot Country Billboard chart. Their version earned Webb a Grammy Award for Best Song in 1986. Before that, Ghost Riders in the Sky by Frankie Laine. It tells a folk tale of a cowboy who has a vision of red-eyed, steel-hooved cattle thundering across the sky, being chased by the spirits of evil cowboys. One spirit warns him that if he does not change his ways, he will be doomed forever trying to catch the devil's herd across these endless skies. Ghost Riders in the Sky was written in 1948 by songwriter, film, and television actor Stan Jones. Jones related that he had been told the story when he was a 12-year-old boy by an old cowboy friend. Several versions were on the pop charts in 1949. The most successful was by Vaughn Monroe. Members of the Western Writers of America chose it as one of the top 100 Western songs of all time. And beginning this segment of songs that tell a story, Ringo, a hit single for Canadian-born actor Lorne Greene. The vocal consists of a first-person account of a Western lawman and his relationship with a notorious gunfighter, Ringo. The account in the song does not fit the known historical facts of the life of the Western outlaw Johnny Ringo, but that's okay. It's still a great song. It reached number 1 on the U.S. Billboard charts in 1964, as well as the Easy Listening chart, where it retained the number 1 position for 6 weeks. The song was written by Don Robertson and Hal Blair. Have a question or comment about our show? Email me at sweethaven1@msn.com.
It's yesterday once more. Welcome to America's Music Nostalgia Show. And now here's your host, Sandy Gaines.
Thank you, Marshall. Our show this time is Songs You Missed. That is, songs you've probably never heard before, or those you really miss? Well, go back to the 60s and move up to the recent past. It's Yesterday Once More is always about the music and how it weaves our lives together. Our trivia question this time is, who was Carole King's longtime songwriting partner? The answer later. Without further delay, cue up the records, Captain, and let the show begin.
When I met you, I let you know I didn't want to go the way I'd gone before. That door was closed, I was just looking for fun, and you were the right one, you got it, so we could just play around. We wouldn't get serious or mysterious. When it's done, it would just be done. Love potional, I wanna make every moment last. I wasn't gonna fall in love. No, I wasn't gonna fall. I wasn't gonna fall in love. Till I fell in love, till I fell in love, till I fell in love with you. Never know what's gonna, never know what's gonna come along to change your mind, change your way, play the game you said you'd never play. Never thought that we, never thought you and I would be together. Well, I thought I could, but I guess you can't, you can't ever, never say never. I wasn't gonna fall in love. No, I wasn't gonna fall. I wasn't gonna fall in love till I fell in love with you. Till I fell in love with you. When I met you, I didn't wanna go the way I'd gone before. That door was closed, I was just looking for you. I wasn't gonna fall in love till I fell in love with you. Till I fell in love with you. Never know what to do. Change your mind, change your way. Play the game you said you'd never play. I wasn't gonna fall in love till I fell in love with you. Till I fell in love with you.
First time you fall for somebody, the world becomes a lucky charm. You wander around like a peacock with your lover on your arm. Oh, next time you fall, you think you've heard it all. No one could turn you inside out. And your friends hear you say, as your heart slips away, I wonder what it's all about. And it's first time love giving you fever, second time love's cooling your brow. Finally love takes your hand in the dark and leads you home somehow. Oh, never say never to another, just because somebody broke your heart. Get your chin off the floor, you'll never know what's in store if you don't give love a chance to start. And if you don't believe in following feelings, it's never too late to start. 'Cause if you open your eyes, you'll realize I'm the one who's chasing your heart. And it's first time love giving you fever, second time love's cooling your brow. Finally love takes your hand in the dark and leads you home somehow. And it's first time love faking your heartbeat, second time love's making it stop. Finally love picks you up at the bottom and leads you on the top. It's love that's all. It's love that's all. It's love that's all. It's just love that's all. It's love that's all. It's just love that's all.
"17 years she's been in this world, wide-eyed and wistful, pretty little Mormon girl. She don't know I'm wicked, and she don't know I'm old. Sweet Jesus, forgive me, but she gets in my soul. She believes in the future and the family tree, and she thinks there's a little spark of good left in me. And she comes to my door 'cause she thinks I can bring her the glamorous life of a cowboy singer. From my bed to her hand at the bell, I look like the devil and I'm feeling like hell, but she don't seem to notice. She just steps right beside for to sing me the song she made up last night. Shining like the moon and the stars, and she plays so unspoiled on that two-bit guitar, singing love and tomorrow, and thank the Redeemer, and the doom and anoint her a cowboy singer.
You're listening to It's Yesterday Once More with Sandy Gaines.
Baby, I'm amazed at the way you love me all the time. Maybe I'm afraid of the way I love you. Baby, I'm amazed at the way you pull me out of time. You hung me online. Maybe I'm amazed at the way I really need you. Baby, I'm a man, maybe I'm a lonely man who's in the middle of something that he doesn't really understand. Yeah. But baby, I'm a man, and baby, you're the only woman who could ever help me. Baby, won't you help me understand? Maybe I'm amazed. Understand, yeah. Baby, I'm a man. Maybe you're the only woman who could ever help me. Baby, won't you help me understand? Ooh, oh, yeah. Baby, I'm amazed at the way you're with me all the time. Maybe I'm afraid of the way I leave you. Maybe I'm amazed at the way you help me sing my song. You right me when I'm wrong. Maybe I'm amazed at the way I really need
From Mark Cohn's Playlist 1970 CD, a rendition of Paul McCartney's Maybe I'm Amazed. Before that, Lucy Kaplinski gives us Cowboy Singer from the Red Thread CD. At 18, she decided not to go to college, but moved to New York City, where she became involved in the city's folk music scene in Greenwich Village, where she played with Suzanne Vega and Sean Colvin. Later, she went back to school and got a Ph.D. in clinical psychology. Before that, Livingston Taylor, brother of James Taylor, with First Time Love from the Ink CD. Livingston performs over 75 shows a year, having shared the stage with Linda Ronstadt, Jimmy Buffett, and Jethro Tull. And from the First Lady of the 60s and 70s, Carole King, with I Wasn't Gonna Fall in Love. It's Yesterday Once More.
It's Yesterday Once More. Welcome to Colorado's Music Nostalgia Show. And now here's your host, Sandy Gaines.
Thank you, Marshall. We have a special show this time, inspired by a book about the Vietnam War, written by Doug Bradley, a Vietnam veteran who teaches a course on the war with Craig Werner, professor of Afro-American Studies at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Doug Bradley gave It's Yesterday Once More permission to use statements from Vietnam veterans for this show. Doug also related that Craig and I discovered the power of music from a decade of interviews with hundreds of Vietnam vets. Our book, We Gotta Get Out of This Place, the soundtrack of the Vietnam War, shows how music helps soldiers and veterans connect to each other and to life back home, and to cope with the complexities of the war they had been sent to fight. Our show this time honors these men and women in uniform who served in the Second Indochina War. Here's Richard Threlkel from CBS News in 1970.
American soldiers hiking their way through the sweaty jungles of South Vietnam, searching for an elusive enemy. The temperature is almost 100 degrees, and the jungle stifles even the tiniest breeze. DeValle is the lone medic in the platoon. He's scared from the moment he gets out of the chopper to the moment it picks him up. Scared that someday he's going to get killed picking up a wounded buddy. Jorgensen just became a sergeant, but he doesn't like it. He'd rather be up walking point, where the action is. He's already got 3 Purple Hearts, so everybody calls him Hero. The enemy soldier who shot Jorgensen cannot be found. He may have survived or dragged himself off to die. Most of the time, you never really know. The problem now is to get Hero out of here. So Blue calls in the medevac helicopter and sets up a perimeter to protect it. The helicopter hovers over the jungle, and in the midst of the firefight, his buddies put Hero on the rescue chopper, and he's pulled up 100 feet. 100 feet to a hospital bed and a one-way ticket out of the Vietnam War. And then it's quiet again. Alpha Troop 19, less one man, gingerly making its way back through the heat and the smell of gunpowder back to the pickup zone.
My younger brother calls me a killer and my daddy calls me a vet. Everybody says I'm someone else, that I'm sick and there's no cure. Damned if I know who I am. There was only one place I was sure live in Saigon.
In 1972, Roger Bowe from Dubuque returned to Travis Air Force Base in San Francisco. Having completed a one-year tour of duty in Thailand, he was anxious to get to the airport and return to Iowa. During Bowe's arduous trip home, he was forced to spend the night in the Minneapolis airport.
This guy stepped out from the shadows and he said, "Are you a GI?" I didn't know what to expect. He said, "Come here." And that just echoed. And he says, "I have a bed for you." I'm sorry, but he took me to a place where there was a cot, and he held my plane tickets and watched after my stuff while I got some rest. Next morning, I was shaken awake and said, your plane's about to leave. It was a misty morning in August. I had a window seat. Looking out the window, I saw the sky had a green cast to it. And I knew we were flying over Iowa. It was so green and so beautiful. I felt like I was flying into the Garden of Eden.
The old hometown looks the same as I step down from the train. And there to meet me is my mama and papa. And down the road I look, and there runs Mary, hair of gold and lips like cherries. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home. Yes, they've all come to meet me. Arms are reached, smiling sweetly. It's so good to touch the green, green grass of home. The old house is still standing, though the paint is cracked and dry. And there's that old oak tree that I used to play on. Down the lane I walk with my sweet Mary, hair of gold and lips like cherries. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home. Then I awake and look around me at these four gray walls that surround me. And I realize that I was only dreaming. For there's a garden, there's a sad old padre. Arm in arm we'll walk at daybreak, when again I'll touch the green, green grass of home. They'll all come to see me in the shade of that old oak tree as they lay me 'neath the green, green grass of home.
Vietnam veteran Sam Stanley Alden recalls Crystal Blue Persuasion by Tommy James and the Shondells was always playing on the jukebox at the Pleiku Air Force Base Officers Club, the hangout of choice. I was at the 71st Evac Hospital from 1969 to 1970.
Look over yonder. What do you see? The sun is rising, most definitely. A new day's coming. Ooh, ooh. changing. Ain't it beautiful? Ooh, crystal blue persuasion. Better get ready. Gonna see the light. Love is the answer. Ooh, and that's alright. So don't you give up now. Ooh, so easy to find. Just look to your soul. Look to your soul. And open your mind. Crystal blue persuasion. It's a new vibration. Crystal blue persuasion. Crystal blue persuasion. Maybe tomorrow, when he looks down on every green field, in every town, all of his children, in every nation, there'll be peace and good brotherhood. Crystal blue persuasion. Yeah. Crystal blue persuasion. Crystal blue persuasion.
Dan Rather of CBS News spent many years covering the war in Vietnam.
This was in early 1966. We were in a part of Vietnam where the jungle canopy is 3 layers. It was a terrible firefight. These were Army troops, U.S. Army soldiers. The soldiers were taking a lot of casualties, primarily from one machine gun, heavy machine gun nest. Suddenly and inexplicably, one of the soldiers got up, rushed the machine gun nest with hand grenades and firing his own weapon as quickly as possible, rushed it, and single-handedly wiped it out. I was absolutely gape-mouthed in amazement. It was something out of an old World War II or World War I movie. And once that machine gun nest was silenced, they were able to move forward.
This is the American Forces Vietnam Network.
Our time is 19 minutes, 19 after 6 o'clock in the morning. We have all kinds of good music for everybody on this Dawn Buster for a Monday morning. Hope you'll come along and join us. This is your host, Army Specialist Kramer Has, the record man.
More music.
Long as I remember, the rain been coming down, clouds of mystery pouring, confusion on the ground. Could be through the ages, trying to find the sun, and I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain. I went down Virginia, seeking shelter from the storm. Caught up in the fable, I watched the tower grow. 5-year plans and new deals, wrapped in golden chains. And I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain. Heard the singers playing, now we cheered for more. Crowd had rushed together, trying to keep warm. Still the rain kept pouring, falling on my ears. And I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain.
Veteran Ron Macetic said Galveston had always made me homesick, brought a tear to my eye, and scared me all at the same time. Although I'd never been to Galveston, I think it's one of the greatest anti-war songs ever recorded. Well, time to put the genie back in the bottle until we meet again on the radio. Oh, our trivia question. 16 Tons, recorded by Ernie Ford, was released in 1955 and reached number 1 in the Billboard charts. Our theme song is Berkeley Springs by Don Ross. Our research assistant is the lovely and talented Melinda Sanders, and always on standby is our technical engineer, Captain Wiley Searcy. The words were provided by yours truly, Sandy Gaines. Until next time, keep a song in your heart.
Thank you for joining us for It's Yesterday Once More. The Sweet Haven Project produced this program and is solely responsible for its content. This is your announcer, Marshall Lawrence.